Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's morning musings is the last bastion of old power. I'm doing a series of daily morning musings, and I'm using posts from my blog, Adventures in Density and Effort, as inspiration. Now, I wrote these a while ago, but I'm still finding the topics evergreen and very applicable to what's going on in the world today. However, if I encounter anything that is grossly out of date, I will give you the most recent information, and at the end, I will summarize the topic based on what's happening now. Also, I have some special offers, so stay tuned to the very end to see what they are. The last bastion of old power. Here I am in Washington, D.C. during an election year. It is such an interesting manifestation. The main game or learning point of the city seems to be power. And as with everything else on the planet, what makes up the old paradigm is exactly what is breaking down. The paragons of old power were tall white males. A study of corporate CEOs showed them to be predominantly Caucasian males and over 6 feet tall. I don't know how tall most of the members of the House and the Senate are, but most of them are white and they are male. And the paradigm of old power is external, power outside oneself. It dominates, it competes, it diminishes others. There's a collective impression that the majority of senators and representatives are wealthy, and it seems that the main focus is to diminish the working class, women, firefighters, school teachers, the unemployed, and the list goes on. It's a pattern that started a good 12 years ago, and we've seen citizens in this country slowly lose their civil rights, and the environment lose its protections, and it's felt in some ways that we've returned to the 1950s. With issues such as homeland security, we returned to the 1930s. Might as well call it fatherland security. We've had a glimmer of hope with a tall black male as president. I wrote this in 2012, who embodies many energies required for the transformation we're collectively undergoing. It's hard for us to appreciate how much he's already done cleaning up the country, as it was such a mess to begin with. People have short memories, so they blame him for the patterns that were originated prior to his coming into office. Also, the personalities that are embodying these patterns that are dying are making the loudest noise. It feels like the world will come to the end if they let go of their illusion of control. It's like an alcoholic on their way to hitting bottom. Their addict personality will fight the hardest to retain power. As I'm writing this, I'm also reflecting on the Catholic Church, another old power paradigm run by white males. They are equally embroiled with maintaining external dominance. Priests, after all, in their mind, are the only direct connection to God, diminishing the power of nuns, etc. It's the same pattern, different robes. We are collectively experiencing an evolution of consciousness. What is emerging is new power, which is power within. Our uniqueness is our strength. As we bring our essence more into form, we are becoming aligned with the God within. We aren't a reflection of God. We each are God, not an egoic interpretation of God. We're not little Napoleons. Our life force energy is God. We can be everywhere at once, and it's all equally powerful. New consciousness, new power requires more personal responsibility. We each need to respond as consciousness with a body, not a body personality with a soul. The imbalance in the world today is from body personalities responding from fear and powerlessness. Great old paragons are fearful of losing their money and their status. People allow themselves to be dominated and manipulated because they perceive themselves as less than. When you acknowledge yourself as consciousness, expansive, joyous, and infinite, you have no need to dominate others, and others aren't able to dominate you. Bullies don't bully someone who stands up for themselves. Wherever you are on the planet, you can contribute to the transformation by recognizing yourself as consciousness and responding as an infinite being. It can completely change your reality. Problems will no longer seem like problems, or they will completely disappear. People will either treat you differently or vanish from your storyline. Sometimes plots will drop into your storyline to assist you with this. As you respond from your infiniteness, it creates a ripple effect out into the world. It helps empower others to stand up and do the same. It helps to dissipate the old power patterns. Try this for a week and see what happens. Oh, this is so interesting, isn't it? Because right now, at the time I'm recording this, we're going into a whole brand new election. The old paradigm of power is even more old, creaky, white, entitled, and in the process of disintegrating. And you can even see it in the two different candidates, because right now we have Kamala Harris, who is female and a person of color, and then then the paradigm of dysfunctional white male power on the other side, Donald Trump. And I said that this actually began a good 12 years before, which was around the year 2000. And you can take a look back and see how far off base we've come, because it really probably started with Ronald Reagan, but then with George W. Bush, there was the Tea Party, which seemed really radical. And now the Tea Party people are seeming pretty conservative. And we've got the MAGA Party. And really, it's just personifying what is in the process of going away as we evolve to this new, more expansive, more inclusive, more embracing experience of reality. And I have to say, it's also reflecting in the Catholic Church, because now we've got Pope Frankie, who actually admitted that Mary Magdalene was framed. She was not a prostitute. It was just something that was made up to diminish her. And I'll have to say that mystic and Gnostic Gospels all did indicate that she was Jesus's main minister. She was one he first appeared to after he passed. And I also believe, I don't have the exact quotes, but Pope Frankie's also said affirming things about the LGBTQ community as well. In that experience of a religion that's been going for 2,000 years, change comes a little more slowly than a country of democracy that's only been going for, 250 or so. But change is coming, and the example of democracy, which is the example of each of us having a say in our own destiny, which is what's happening as consciousness comes into form, is each of us is becoming more empowered. And as a collective, we are raising each other, all of us, up. So if you have any experience about this, please leave a comment below. I love to read your comments. And if you like these videos, please share them with your family and friends and on your social media. You can click the like button and subscribe, and that way you're telling the algorithm to share this far and wide and get this out to people who really need to see this information. And if you want a free sample of one of my consciousness techniques, click on the link below to the skybox technique. It'll give you a drone's eye perspective of your life and incredible insights. And if you want some manifestation techniques, Manifesting Money and Miracles is my self-study course where you can learn energy techniques to completely change your external reality. And if you want to know more, my website is joan-newcomb.com. There you can sign up for my individual sessions where I take a look at you as consciousness and what's going on in your life today. And then I can answer any questions you might have, whether it's about relationships, about money, about what's coming up in your future. And I can also talk to deceased loved ones, and it's all recorded just for you. And if you want to learn how to do this for yourself, Manifesting Money and Miracles is a great preparation for my coaching special where I work with you one-on-one and give you specifically chosen consciousness techniques so that you can transform your life. So go to my website, joan-newcomb.com, and I'll see you tomorrow in another Morning Musings.